Good afternoon, everyone. Ooh, that's as Karen said, I'm from South Carolina, so it's a real treat to be in your area of the world because when I get home, I think it's going to be 80 degrees. So I'm glad to be here. And you all, I also went to Northwestern, so I'm familiar with this area a little bit for my graduate degree. I'm really grateful to be here, and I've had the privilege of actually rooming with Liz this week, and I have found her to be gracious, charming, generous, youthful, tender, and sassy. And you will hear all those traits in the poetry that she has selected for her compositions today. She's a great appreciator of poetry and influential in many people's lives. The way she sets words helps us enjoy the crafting of language into poems. The first set today is about nature, and we left off the first song, but we want you to hear it because it's beautiful. It's called Snow, and the poetry is by Lisel Mueller, if any of you are familiar with her name. She's a North Shore poet. And I want you to listen for the cascading snowflakes played in the descending staccati passages by the piano. You'll also hear poems about the peace gained at relaxing by a lake or playing at the ocean. And you'll hear about the emergence of spring flowers. Make sure you read the title so you know which flower is emerging.
sings. Their midnight is all a glimmer, and noon is a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand by the roadway and on the pavements gray I hear it in the deep heart's core. She wore her yellow sunbonnet, she wore her greenest gown. She turned to the south wind and curtsied up and down. She turned to the sunlight and shook her yellow head and whispered to her neighbor, "Winter is dead." Maggie and Millie and Mollie and May went down to the beach to play one day, and Maggie discovered a shell that sang so sweetly. She couldn't remember her troubles, and Millie befriended a stranded star whose rays 5 languid fingers were, and Mollie was chased by a horrible thing that raced sideways while blowing bubbles, and May came home with a smooth round stone as small as a world and as large as a loan. For whatever we lose, like a you or a me, it's always ourselves we find in the sea. Ourselves we find in the sea.
What was the flower? Daffodil, right, good. The next set of songs is on aging with grace. These poems begin with missing a mother, and then progress to the annoyance of aging, which we are all doing. Then the sentimentality of a lost relationship, and finally, oh well, we can't change it, a drinking song. Bring my mother back to life. The third set is about visual art and or art in general. These are poems mostly written by Liz, and they are from her own experiences, so I hope you'll enjoy those. The first one is about the Japanese art technique of Sumi-e, and the second is about an antique dealer and his appreciation for his furniture. The third is entitled A Still Life, and she wants you to picture half an avocado with a pit sitting on your kitchen windowsill. And then we end with a melodrama, the poet by Lisel Mueller. And this is the perspective of an artist model fading into pointillism, cubism, futurism, and monochrome, and more, or less in her mind.
Sitting in his
The next songs are about quirks of animals, and the poet is William J. Smith. Many of you have loved pets or enjoyed seeing exotic animals, I'm sure, over the years. These poems represent the delight of preschoolers and adults in the novel characteristics of creatures of many kinds. Please feel free to giggle. I have to laugh when I'm singing, and I need you to laugh with me.
It was laughing time, and the tall giraffe lifted his head and began to laugh. Ha, and the chimpanzee from the ginkgo tree swung merrily down with a tee. It's certainly not against the law, cried Justice Crow with a loud guffaw. Ha, 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 ha. The dancing bear, who could never say no, waltzed up and down on the tip of his toe. The donkey daintily took his paw, and away they went, hee-haw, 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 hee-haw. The moon had a smile as it started to climb. All over the world it was laughing time. Hee-haw, hee-haw, hee-hee-hee-haw, haw-haw-haw. I wanted to tell you, when I was first introduced to Liz, it was through a mutual friend. Her name was Kirby Colson. And she would come to the Greenville Chorale rehearsal and say, I have some music for you. And so she would give me a booklet of Liz's songs. And so I teach voice, and I needed accessible songs, charming songs for my students. And we did a program of children's songs. So these are particularly appropriate. And you can tell that youthful characteristic of Liz coming through. Grandmother Ostrich goes to bed with a towel wrapped around her head, and even if it's bright as day, she carries a candle to light her way. Grandmother Ostrich crosses the sand to the edge of Never, Never Land. She looks all around her and sees not a soul, then pokes her head in an ostrich hole. find a world of bathtub white and icebergs floating through the night. Does he ever go to the barber shop? Ever go to the barber shop? No, no, no. How wild and woolly and devil may care. A long-haired yak with long black hair would look when perched in a barber chair.
This last set is, I can think of it as playtime. So the poems are by E.E. Cummings and A.A. Milne of Winnie the Pooh fame. It's for the child in us all. You'll hear variations on What is the Matter with Mary Jane, along with picturesque hopping in the piano part in the Christopher Robin song. You want to play a little picturesque hopping? This piece is called Hoppity. Good. And then we'll have ticking clocks, and there are so many tick-tocks.
What is the matter with Mary Jane? She's crying with all her might and main, and she won't eat her dinner rice pudding again. What is the matter with Mary Jane? What is the matter with Mary Jane? I've promised her dolls and a daisy chain and a book about animals, all in vain. What is the matter with Mary Jane? What is the matter with Mary Jane? She's perfectly well and she hasn't a pain. Look at her now, she's beginning again. What is the matter with Mary Jane? What is the matter with Mary Jane? I've promised her sweets and a ride in a train, and I've begged her to stop for a bit and explain. What is the matter with Mary Jane? What is the matter with Mary Jane? She's perfectly well and she hasn't a pain, and it's long everywhere, telling people what a talk-tick time it is. For tick, tick instance, 5 talk minutes talk, past 6. Spring is not regulated and does not get out of order, nor do its hands a little jerking move over numbers slowly. We do not wind it up, it has no weights. Spring's wheels inside of its slender self. No, indeed, dear, nothing of the kind. So when spring comes, we'll kiss, each kiss other on the kiss lips. Because tick clock stock don't make a talk tick difference to kiss you and to kiss me.
So in that vein, the next piece is called the 719, and this is a nod to Liz's husband.
One of these days, a Monday, I guess, when you're all showered and shaved and plump and breakfasted with your ears clean and your hair combed kind of casual, like the man on the cover of the Macy's catalog, with your new blue suit that's almost a match for your eyes. I'm gonna say things and do things that'll make you miss your train and save that fast walk, smooth talk, executive efficiency for me.
Thank you very much. I have one more short song. It's very, very short, but this is a poem by Emily Dickinson. A Word is Dead. And this is in honor of Liz's appreciation for great poetry.
A word is dead when it is said, some say. I say it just begins to live the
And Lisa, I mean, it's so hard not to laugh louder when it sounds so self-indulgent, but she's such a good actress too, as well as singers. And Jeff, thank you so much. They worked hard for 3 straight hours yesterday, and that was kind of it. And I just wanted to say that Jeff and I, when I started writing music, I didn't go to music school or anything. And when I started, Jeff had George Bonhommy as a teacher when he was in high school, and I had him helping me write music when I was probably 50 or something like that. And he'd say, he was from Hungary and he had 5 master's degrees from the Franz Liszt Academy, and he'd say, do you mean this? I could do the melodies and the words, but I didn't know much about accompaniments. They all sounded alike. And he'd say, do you mean this? Yes, yes. And everybody thought I was so bright and such a good organizer. And then he died, and I called around to see who hadn't watered down their courses in harmony and everything, because during the 60s, everybody watered it down. And I got hold of Ann Bowen, whom you all know, because she was in all 3 music clubs. And I knew she would never water anything down. And I felt it was going to be a lifetime commitment, which it was. And I slowed way, way down. And I wasn't so bright anymore because she had to help me with all the accompaniments. And she didn't care about words, so we had a lot of arguments, but she was great. So anyway, I just wanted to explain that part. And it's wonderful to have 2 people that catch on so beautifully, instantly, with all that talent. And I tried not to laugh too loud, because it seems so self-indulgent, but you know, they add so much to it. It was great. So thank you.